Welcome back. Well, it's taken nearly 2 years, but finally, the United Nations has added Hamas to the blacklist of perpetrators of sexual violence, alongside ISIS and Boko Haram. Joining me now is one advocate pushing for this outcome, Professor Ruth Halperin-Kadari. Ruth, thank you very much for your time. Why did this take so long?
Well, it has taken that long primarily because we're talking about an annual report of the Secretary General that comes out every year. And in that report that covers all areas of where sexual violence was used as a weapon of war, there is an annex to it where the Secretary General decides to add those entities that there is evidence that they actually made use of premeditated and systemic usage of sexual violence as a weapon of war. Last year, in that report, his special representative, Ms. Pramila Patten, that came into Israel and performed a fact-finding mission and came out with conclusions about the sexual violence that indeed took place on October 7 and then went on and was perpetrated against the hostages in captivity. Yet what was lacking at that point was the connecting factor that shows that systematization and the premeditation and the actual attribution of these acts to Hamas. Throughout the last year, there was more evidence that came out, more eyewitnesses and ear witnesses in real time actually came out with more testimonies. And we at the DINA Project, we took it upon ourselves to take all these traces together, put them into one all-encompassing evidentiary platform. We analyzed it from a legal perspective, and we could point out to these systematic and systemic evidence. And together with work of others and with more evidence and more testimonies that came out, I'm really very pleased, if I can use that word, to that the Secretary General was convinced in being able to attribute the sexual violence and atrocities to Hamas and to call it what it is.
Well,
use of sexual violence as a weapon of war.
Well, you should be pleased because it is an extremely important outcome. The fact that media outlets were even denying that Israelis were raped was just terrible. Well, thank you so much for your important work, Ruth. I'm sorry that's all we've got time for tonight.